Dear students, in today's section we are going to discuss analysis of circuits with capacitors. And in this section, first we are going to discuss Kirchhoff's rule. Kirchhoff's rule can be used to determine potential difference and charge on the plates of the capacitor in any electrical circuit. In circuit with the capacitors and battery, two important rules are involved. Number one, junction rule, and number two, loop rule. Let us first discuss about the junction rule. If you observe any circuit with the resistance and battery, we can observe in resistance current flow through the resistance and through the battery also. Also, similar way we can say charge also flow through the resistance and battery. So, resistance and batteries are the continuous element of the circuit. But in capacitor, we can observe there is a gap between the plates of the capacitor. So, we can say charge does not flow across the plate. But one thing is common in resistance and battery and capacitor also, that is the charge is always conserved. So, we can say in the capacitor circuit always obeys the principle of conservation of charge. It is same as the conservation of the charge and conservation of current for the resistance part. In any junction, we can say incoming charge should be equal to the outgoing charge from that junction. So, let us make a part of a circuit. You can observe this capacitor is finally connected with the two capacitors. So, this is a junction, and let us write the capacitor C1, C2, C3. This junction is also called the node. Now, let us enter charge Q from this point. If charge enter from this point, it will reach to this plate. If charge is reaching to certain plate, that plate will be positive. So, this plate will be positive. That is, the left plate of this capacitor will be positive, and the facing plate of the capacitor is always negative. Now, charge will move away from this plate. If we draw an arrow here, we can say charge is moving away from the plate. So, if it is minus Q, so we can say charge is moving in this direction should be plus Q. So, we can write here plus Q is charge is reaching here. Now, it comes junction. There are two paths. One is the upper path, second is the lower path. So, charge now divide into two paths. Let at this path, this charge is Q1. So, Q1 charge will enter into this plate, and let the part of the charge of Q, that is in this direction, is Q2. So, this charge Q2 will enter to the plate of the capacitor C3. Now, we have discussed if charge is entering to the plate will become positive. If charge is moving away from the plate charge of the plate should be negative. So, here we can write this is positive and this is negative, and similarly we can say this should be positive and this should be negative. And according to junction rule, incoming charge should be equal to outgoing charge. That means Q is the incoming charge, outgoing charge is Q1 and Q2. So, here we can write Q equal to Q1 plus Q2. This is the junction rule. And there is one very important part of the junction rule, that is the analysis of the isolate system. So, let us discuss the isolate system. Here we know charge cannot be created or destroyed. So, we can say in any isolated system, net charge should be conserved. So, let us observe where is the isolated system in this part of the circuit. If we take this section, three plates connected together, this section of the circuit, we can say these three plates are forming an isolated system. So, in this isolated system, summation of the charge should be conserved, and we know this plate is having positive charge. So, this should have the negative charge. So, this should be minus Q, and this is plus Q1, and here it should be plus Q2. So in this isolated system, we can observe we have the charge minus Q, Q1 and Q2. That means minus Q plus Q1 plus Q2 should be equal to 0. So we can rearrange this equation. We can write Q equal to Q1 plus Q2, and we can observe this is the same equation which we written in the junction rule. Let us discuss loop rule. We know junction rule is a conservation of the charge principle, and here we can say loop rule is a conservation of energy principle. So here we can say in closed circuit the algebraic sum of the rise up and drop of voltage should be equal to 0. So let us make a circuit here. You can observe here this is a circuit with the capacitors and batteries, and you can observe this is forming a closed loop, this is also forming the closed loop, and if we move from outer path, so this path is also forming a closed loop. So we can say is a closed loop if we move in this closed loop in a clockwise direction and starting from A. So here we can write this closed loop as A, B, C and F and finally A. And it is not compulsory that in any closed loop we should move in the clockwise fashion or anti-clockwise fashion. It is not compulsory. We can move in any direction, clockwise or anti-clockwise. So here let us move in this closed loop in the anti-clockwise sense like this. And let us start from this point, from E. So we can write this closed loop as E, B, C, F and E. So these are the closed loops. Now we know what is the meaning of closed loop in a circuit. Now let us discuss these two terms. These are rise up and drop of voltage. First discuss drop of voltage. In fact, when we start moving from a point of higher potential to a point of lower potential in a loop direction, drop of voltage take place. Let us learn this statement through one practical situation. So let us make a part of the circuit. Let us first make a charge capacitor. This is the charge capacitor, and you can observe in this capacitor capacity is C and charge is Q. This is a positive plate, negative plate, and this is a point A and B. While moving from A to B, we are moving from the positively charged plate of this capacitor to negatively charged plate. In this case, drop of voltage will occur, and this drop of voltage is equal to Q divided by C with negative sign, because we are moving from positive plate to negative plate. Potential drop will occur. Now let us make a part of the circuit again, a battery. This is a battery. Suppose here also we are moving from positive plate to negative plate. Positive plate, higher potential plate, negative plate, lower potential plate. So while moving from positive plate to negative plate, or you can say from A to B, drop of voltage is equal to minus A. Now let us discuss rise of voltage. Rise of voltage we can define in the same manner which we discussed for the drop of voltage. Here we can say if we go from the lower potential point to higher potential point, rise of voltage take place. So let us make the practical situation for this point also, and in this case we need not to discuss in detail. It is just opposite to the drop of voltage. So here we can say we will move from B point to A point, and while moving from B point to A point, we are moving from negatively charged plate to positively charged plate. So here drop of voltage should be equal to Q divided by C with the positive sign, right? And here let us draw the battery again, and same repetition. Here we are moving from negative plate to positive plate. So here also rise of voltage will occur, and this rise of voltage should be equal to E with the positive sign, right? So this is about the rise up and drop of voltage. Now we know what are the junction rule and loop rules. Let us do the practical application of Kirchhoff's rule in a circuit. So let us make a circuit here. You can observe there are 5 capacitors C1, C2, C3, C4 and C5 and 2 batteries. And let us learn first distribution of the charge. Before analyzing this circuit, let us make the different junction and nodes visible A, B, C, D, E and F. Now let us start supplying charge to the capacitors. Before making the distribution of the charge in the circuit, let us first make one point clear. It is common misconception that battery create or generate charge, but it is not true. Battery is simple a electrical pump. It pumps charge from one plate to other plate. So in case of the battery, we should remember it is not generator of the charge. It is just like a electrical pump. So let us start from any of the battery. So let us start from battery E1. Positive plate of the battery may supply the positive charge. So we can make the arrow here and write charge Q. You can observe Q charge is entering to this plate. If Q charge before supplying the charge, this plate was neutral. Now it is getting the charge Q. That means the charge on the plate should be equal to Q plus. So this plate is going to be positively charged. And we know about the capacitor, facing plates are having the equal and opposite charge. That means the charge on this plate should be minus Q. Now this is a negative charge. So we can make the arrow coming out of this plate like this. Now we can observe here, this plate, that is the upper plate of C1 and left plate of C2 is forming a isolated system. And we know in any isolated system the total charge should be 0 if initial charge equal to 0, because we know initially these plates are uncharged. That means after supplying the charge through battery also, we can say the total charge of the isolated system, this isolated system should be 0. So we know this charge is minus Q. That means the charge on this plate should be equal to plus Q. Now again repetition. That means the facing plate of the capacitor have the equal and opposite charge. And here this is a positive charge. That means this facing plate should have the negative charge. And we know from negative charge we can take charge out from the plate. So we can make the arrow here and write Q charge is coming out of the plate. Now this Q charge will reach to this point C. C is the junction. Now there are two paths. That is, one path is going straight, other path is going down. So what we will do? We will distribute the charge here, keeping the conservation of the charge in mind. Let us make charge Q1 in this direction. Let us make the arrow here and write charge Q1 is going here. So this plate will be positive, and now from conservation of the charge, what charge we will left here? Q minus Q1. So we can make this arrow here and write Q minus Q1. This will be positive and this will be negative plate. Now we can observe the right plate of the capacitor C3 and right plate of the capacitor C4 are forming the isolated system. One thing should be remembered, that battery can be included inside the isolated system. That's why we included here E2 battery, because we know battery is not the creator of the charge, it is just a electrical pump. That's why we have taken this battery inside the isolated system. So this is the isolated system, and in this isolated system we can observe this plate is having charge minus Q1. And for any isolated system, net summation of the charge should be 0. So the charge on this plate should be equal to plus Q1. And this will be the positive plate. And facing plate should be negative. And from negative plate, what we can do? We can take charge out. So this charge Q1 will flow in this direction, and it will reach to the junction F. And similarly, observe the upper capacitor C5. Charge is flowing in this direction. This is the negative plate and this charge is Q minus Q1. That means Q minus Q1 charge will flow in the downward direction and reach to junction F. Now, you can verify here junction rule at F. Incoming charge should be equal to outgoing charge. So, here we can observe this incoming charge is Q1 plus Q minus Q1. That means Q charge will flow in this direction. You can observe the charge coming from the positive plate of battery E1 will return to the negative plate. That is the conservation of the charge validation. One point is also important. If you want to verify another isolated system in the circuit, you can observe these three plates, 1, 2, 3. These three plates are again forming the isolated system. You can verify the summation of the charge of these three plates should be 0. So, this plate is having charge minus Q, this is plus Q1. So, summation of these charge up to this point is Q1 minus Q, and here you can observe this plate is having the charge Q minus Q1. So, you can observe the summation of the charge, that is the net charge in this isolated system, is also 0. So, conservation of the charge is valid, and this is the distribution of the charge in the circuit. Now, we will learn how to distribute the charge. Now, we can observe here we have the two unknowns Q and Q1. For getting these two unknowns, we require two equations. For forming the two equations, we have the loop rules. So, let us make this diagram again, and we can observe here there are three closed loops. One is this, second is this, and third closed loop is this. That means we have the sufficient opportunity to forming two equations. So, let us make this loop first. So, let us take this loop A, B, C, F, A and move in the clockwise sense and start from point A, right. Now, let us start from point A. If we start moving from A, we will reach to the positive plate of this capacitor C1, and if we cross this capacitor, that means we will cross from positive plate to negative plate, higher potential to lower potential, that means voltage drop. What voltage drop here? Q divided by C1, and it should be with the negative sign. Now, let us move in this capacitor positive to negative. Similar way, we can write here Q divided by C2. Similar, positive to negative, we can write Q minus Q1 divided by C5. Now, from F to A, we will cross this battery from negative to positive plate. So, voltage gain, that is the rise up, will occur. So, here we can write plus E, and we know summation of the rise up and drop up should be equal to 0. That is why we have written this equation. Now, we got first equation. We required one more equation. So, let us take this closed loop, that is C, D, E, F, C, and let us move in this closed loop again in the clockwise direction. So, while moving from C to D, we need to cross this C3 capacitor. That means we will move from positive to negative plate. That means there will be voltage drop. What amount of the voltage drop will occur? That is minus Q1 divided by C3. And then we will move from D point to E point. While moving, we can observe a battery will be there, and in this battery we will move from positive to negative plate. So, voltage drop will occur here also. So, here we can write minus E2. So, first write this voltage drop, then battery voltage drop, and here positive to negative, that is minus Q1 divided by C4, and here we will move from negative to positive plate. So, voltage gain will occur. So, this should be with the positive sign, and we will write Q minus Q1 divided by C5, and summation of the voltage gain and drop should be equal to 0. That is why we have written the second equation. Now, we got the two equations. This is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2, and we know there are two unknowns and we are having the two equations here. So two equations, two unknown, that means we can find the value of Q and Q1, get the desired result, that is charge on different capacitors in the circuit, correct?
Dear aspirants, Cengage India has launched the new edition of our JEE Advanced Physics books. Please visit www.cengage.co.in to buy a copy. You can also buy the books from Amazon or Flipkart.